Well, we are back. Bill Hazen back with Pete Manos. We're ready to get this game underway. Northern Illinois dressed in their red uniforms, cardinal and black their colors. Wisconsin Parkside Rangers in the light-colored uniforms. In goal for Northern Illinois, you take a look at Wisconsin Parkside's goalkeeper, Stan Anderson. In goal for NIU is Jeff Twadell. And there to look at the goalkeepers, and away we go. Northern Illinois has the ball from the kickoff, and Barry Garofalo tried to put the ball into the goal area. Cleared out by Wisconsin Parkside. The ball goes to midfield, now fed ahead. Trying to chase it down is Brian O'Malley, and offside called as O'Malley pushed into the attacking end. Tim Spiegel, Tim Spiegel. Did I say Jeff Twadell in goal? Forgive me, that is actually Tim Spiegel of catalog fame. I don't think he's tied into the catalog at all, but it's certainly a good name to have if you're in the catalog business. Here's Jim Corno coming up the near side for the Huskies. Bring it in the attacking end, feeds it out. Nobody got to it, so Jim goes over and gets it himself. Not a bad move. Put it in on goal, and Stan Anderson was there to claim it for Wisconsin Parkside.
Good hustle by Jim Corno, and Anderson read the ball well off the boards. Bill came out and smothered it down.
All right, we'll see Tim Spiegel now in action. Is he looking at a rush here? No, that's not Vincent Matthews. That's Greg Peters. Ball off the boards, fed inside the box area, right through the slot, and there was nobody there. It's fed out. Here comes Northern Illinois. On the break is Barry Garofalo. Top of the box, fed to the far side. A shot, and he missed the post to the near side, did Willie Roy Jr. Went over against the far wing boards. Roy looking to center, and he's hit. And clobbered there. A foul is called. It's against Northern Illinois. That is their first of the period. Off of the boards, Corno lofts it up into the air. Garofalo taken off of his foot, but Northern Illinois recovers as the ball goes to Helgi Abramson. Helgi has his television game face on. I saw him just before the game got underway. And Coach Willie Roy said, hey, the red light's on, Helgi. It's time to go to work. Over the sideline, out of bounds. No score in the game. We're just underway. Bill Hazen and Pete Manos. We have a line change for both teams. And some new players coming in. Mike Farnham is one of them. I know, Pete, a player that you've liked for a good period of time here. Jim Pisani, his shot is blocked at the attack line, and Farnham will go back and cover it. That was a pretty good block there by Jim Chomko, a sophomore from Granite City, Illinois. That's right around St. Louis.
Well, Bill, we've seen at the outset a pretty good pace, actually. I think the players, it's cold in this building, I think we should mention. I think the most comfortable people in the building are going to be the players, and as soon as they get out there, I think they want to run around, get the blood flowing a little bit.
Yeah, they do have that advantage. Ball taken away. Northern Illinois shot, missed a wide open net, and Tim O'Keefe, who changed uniforms, is wearing number 9. Here's the ball across to the far side. Hung Lee trying to get the ball taken off of his foot, and a foul as O'Keefe went down. A foul was called against Wisconsin Parkside, and that is their first, so each team with one team foul here to the moment. And we are in the first quarter of play. There's no score. Northern Illinois coming out of their own end. This is the Northern Illinois Soccer Invitational, Indoor Soccer Invitational. Bill Kennedy chasing back for Wisconsin Parkside. The ball's fed over to the far side, and Mike Riley with a square ball off of the boards. Kennedy puts it into midfield. Back to Riley. Closed down by O'Keefe. Foul along that far wing boards as one of the Parkside players went down. It's against Parkside's Greg Peters.
Parkside certainly doesn't seem reluctant to mix it up a little bit here, Bill, in the early going. We've had a couple of whistles. O'Keefe went down just now, and then we had another call. So play will be physical, and that's no surprise. Indoor soccer certainly is that way. Now it's going toward Northern's goal.
Offside is the call. The ball was overled, and so the ball will be placed at the attacking line, and Jim Chomko fires one from the direct free kick. Cleared to the corner by Vincent Matthews, picked up over there by Mike Riley for the Rangers. Ball taken off his foot to midfield, and Hung Lee is there to get it. Hung Lee, an interesting young man. He's from Bloomington, Minnesota. Played at Kennedy High School, and a foul as Matthews called as he took Jim Chomko into the boards. That's 2 on Northern Illinois now, 2 for each team.
I think the officials really want to keep things under control, Bill. We've seen a lot of early whistles.
Ball off the boards in front. It took a high ricochet. Did you see Hung Lee fly through the air? He wanted a full volley shot. The ball chested in the attacking end. They're going to get it. Mike Farnham over in the corner. Ball taken off of his foot. And bounces around on the far wing side. Mike Riley puts it in the box where waiting for it is his goalkeeper, Stan Anderson. Stan is a junior. He split time in the nets. He's from right here in Palatine, so for him, this is kind of a homecoming, Pete.
It certainly is, and Stan is pretty athletic. He's got a nice build, solid player. I'm trying to find out exactly how he's distributing. It looks like right now he's hasn't been looking for the long ball. He's been content at this point early on anyway to just roll it out in his own end. I think Rick Kilps would like to see him maybe throw the ball a little bit deeper as the game goes on.
Here is Jens Hansen for Parkside. The ball into midfield. Willie Roy lofts it up into the air. Volleyed Garofalo. A directed header by Kelly, or by Mike Riley. Here comes Jens Hansen. A hard drive right in front. Nobody there to put it away. Corno swept it off the doorstep, and it's cleared by the defense. Riley, Willie Roy tried to clear the board. This one goes up. It did not hit anything. Play on, they say, and it goes over the touchline. We'll remind you, the broadcast rights to this game have been granted to Sports Vision by Northern Illinois University solely for the entertainment of our viewing audience. Any reproduction or use of this program without the written consent of Sports Vision or Northern Illinois University is prohibited. And out of play the ball goes. Pete, I thought you were going to have a shot at that one. It's right here in front of us, but need a little longer arms there and those sticky hands, of course.
I was ready, Bill.
You were, much to your credit. Mike Baldwin with a free kick. He also from Minnesota. There are quite a few Minnesota players on this Wisconsin Parkside team. Willie Roy straight ahead feed. Garofalo on a breakout, and a nice save by the goalkeeper, Stan Anderson, who made a nice exit.
Anderson read it well. Garofalo made a nice break, actually, and Willie Roy Jr. led him very nicely. Anderson did exactly what he had to do. And then Parkside had a chance at the other, and here come the Huskies.
Roy to Garofalo once again. Garofalo gets it, tries to tee up off of the boards right in front. Roy, the put away shot it wide. Garofalo gets it off the boards. Tries once, can't get it in front, and it's taken off of his foot. And down hard goes Mike Baldwin. As he was fouled, it'll be a free kick, and Northern Illinois has picked up its third team foul, according to my numbers here, against 2 for Wisconsin Parkside in the quarter.
Nice shift by Barry Garofalo. He blocked that one ball and then had a nice feed from Willie Roy, almost scored, then came back again. That's I'm sure what Willie likes to see. Good hard effort. And there's a goal.
Vincent Matthews puts it in.
Talking about Bill. Vincent Matthews banged one in with his left foot. Well taken shot.
And he took it all the way. The goal coming at approximately 7:50, somewhere around in there. The goal for Vincent Matthews, and I think that will be unassisted, Pete.
I believe it will be. We'll try to get an official reading from the scorer. As you see in the replay, he tucked it in nicely. Anderson really came out well and seemed to have the ankle cut down, but to Vincent's credit, he tucked that in on the near side, right under the post.
Here is, we had some bodies flying. Jim Chomko of Parkside took a pretty hard fall. Willie Roy was telling me he expected a very physical game because he thinks that Parkside's a very physical team. And I'll tell you, Chomko went flying through the air, but he forgot his trapeze. He was really exposed.
Well,
there.
Bill, indoor, as we've seen in last year and in years before, it's a tough game. You've got players in a confined space. They don't have all the room they have in outdoor soccer. They're restricted, by time and by space. So you get a little head of steam going, and you're in a real confined area, and you're going to have some bodies banging together, and that's and you have the boards to contend with also. So that's why we see Mr. Chomko down there trying to gather himself,
fight off the pain, and it looks like he's in a considerable amount of it. He took a terrible, terrible fall as he ran into, I think it was Willie Roy. They were going for a ball, loose ball. Jim is a sophomore. He's from Granite City, Illinois, played at Granite City High School, and we know that in recent years, of course, Granite City has had a real powerhouse program. He missed some matches last year, and this young man has fought through illness. He had an illness problem, Pete. It really hurt him. And so, he's just getting to the point where he's getting some playing times. You really hate to see something like this happen because he's just trying to get back in there. He'd earned a starting berth early before the season and then ran into some difficulty. Coach Willie Roy, of the former coach of the Chicago Sting, and look at that, the commissioner of the conference right there, Jerry Ippolite. I seem to remember that gentleman for something or other.
Jerry is here. Good to see Jerry, the Associate Athletic Director for Northern Illinois University, and your color commentator for Husky football on Sports Vision.
Yes, that's right, in basketball as well, and also he is the commissioner of the new conference that Northern Illinois plays in soccer.
That's correct.
Say, our next Bulls telecast will be Tuesday. Live action from Chicago Stadium begins at 7:30. The Bulls play host to Minute Ball and the Washington Bullets right here on Sports Vision, so you want to be on hand to catch that. Sports Vision, Chicago's winners on cable, where you will see the tallest man in the NBA, a guy named Minute, who is anything but minute.
I knew I would hear that.
Well, as you can see, he is favoring that left leg. He's going to be taken off, and Jim Chomko, I would be highly surprised if he will play anymore. They're going to take him off, and look, they are definitely favoring that left leg. I think he jammed that knee down pretty well, Pete. So you just hope that it's nothing really serious, but he was in an awful lot of pain. And so Wisconsin Parkside is thinned in their troops as Jim Chomko is out for the rest of the game. Free kick put off the boards by Bill Kennedy right in front, and there to take it is the keeper, Tim Spiegel. And Spiegel will distribute it. Northern Illinois coming out of its own end. A pass toward midfield taken away. 1-0 Northern on a goal by Vincent Matthews, unassisted according to our word. Now we had a foul called. Did we get an official word on the goal and who scored it? And I'm just checking with our statistician here, who was supposed to be wearing a headset to get that material. Off of the board, and it's out of play. 3 minutes remaining here in the first quarter of play. It was Vincent Matthews. The goal came roughly at about the 8-minute mark. Ball off of the boards. Nice cut there. That was nearly a great opportunity for Farnham, but he's forced wide as Greg Peters didn't take the bite. He stayed right with it. Now the goalkeeper's in a pretty tough spot. Good defensive play as the ball cleared out of there. Peters chases it over. Ball fed to midfield. They'll battle for it. Peters was in the area, but Jim Pisani, pedaling back, gets it for Northern Illinois. From his own penalty arc, feeds it ahead. Northern up the far. We've got Matthews wide open on the left if they can get it to him, and they could not get it to him. It was brought in, and clearance to midfield. Ball takes a pretty good spin. Look at Hung Lee trying to get to that ball, and he was shouldered off of the ball by Pisani, and the fans did not like it.
Well, I think the fans felt that Pisani worked an arm in there, and they were looking for a whistle. Now we see right here in front of us, Bill, we see Farnham go down, and at number 10, Greg Peters for Parkside. So not surprisingly, the bodies are flying, and we're seeing that human pinball effect already here.
Farnham got called for it. Northern Illinois now has 4 team fouls. They have to watch themselves in the remaining 136. Oh, kind of a high leg there called against Riley. That's the 3rd team foul on Wisconsin Parkside. Very dangerous there.
Well, I think also the official was more concerned with the push. He had both arms out and basically pushed his opponent away in the chest. So you can't do that, Bill, as we know.
Yep. Garofalo, they tried a little quick feedback from Willie Roy. Couldn't get it to him. Ball fed through traffic, knocked down by Abramson, and screened away by Corno, lofted into midfield by Spiegel, the goaltender. Now here is Hung Lee at the 1-minute mark of the first quarter. Tries to feed it across the box. And intercepted. Northern Illinois has it back. Willie Roy, cross-field pass. And Jim Corno was a little bit hot. He had a little trouble, rolled up on him a little bit, and had to give ground. Now Hung Lee was right there. There was no Northern Illinois player in the area for that pass. Corno, square ball, little room over there for Willie Roy Jr. I assume that's Willie wearing number 3. And the ball fed over the red line. No, wait a minute, that's Willie Roy, number 4. We have a number 3. That's Preben Hulla, that's who it is. Preben Hulla, that's right, he changed his numbers. O'Keefe and Hulla changed uniforms. And into the midfield, here comes Hung Lee. Over on the far side, trying to get to a left-footed pass right in front of the goal mouth and swept away. What a defensive play by Hulla to get back there. Excellent defensive play. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and the quarter will come to an end with a 1-goal lead, and we will pause. Our score through 1 quarter is Northern Illinois 1 and Wisconsin Parkside 0. Third year, we are back with our coverage of the Northern Illinois Indoor Soccer Classic. Bill Hazen back here with Pete Manos. It's always a pleasure to take a part in such a special event that's so well done, you know, coordinating, getting all of these teams here. It's quite a challenge. Brian O'Malley starts it off for Wisconsin Parkside, jammed into those boards, and a foul called. O'Malley gets it right away. So here's a shot right through the crease. Man, oh man. Centering pass, and that's cleared away. But here's Hung Lee with a toe shot. Didn't go in. Shot and a rebound goal. Greg Peters. Greg Peters for the goal. As he got the rebound on that first shot, it was a rebound volley and in. Wow.
Nice goal by Peters, Bill. Rick Kilps, the Parkside coach, has told me a couple of times that he considers him a good finisher, and he certainly did there. You could smell that goal coming. The ball was bouncing around in the goal area for a little bit there, and Parkside now is drawn even, and they're hungry for another one here.
So the assist on that goal following the first shot actually goes to Brian Maher, I believe. We'll get the official word on it. Here's a foul, and there may be fans wanted a penalty on that. Foul against Northern Illinois. They have 2 quick ones. They gave that last one. So we'll get the assist, and we'll get the official scoring on that. We think it was Peters from Maher, we think, but we'll double check on that and make sure that we have that along with the time. Score tied at 1. Bill Hazen back with Pete Manos. The time on the goal we think was 11:37. 11:37 of the second quarter. Vincent Matthews tries a toe shot, and climbing the ladder to get that one was Stan Anderson. Was there an offside? What is this about now? I thought Anderson was in the box area.
Well, the Parkside players aren't real happy. Looks like it's going in instead of going out. And, of course, they're going to have to set a wall up here real quick because they're right on the doorstep, the Huskies.
Yeah, and Vincent Matthews tried to knock it in off the quick pass. Didn't. I have to tell you, I'm not exactly sure what that was. They must have called the goalkeeper something illegally there when the ball went over, but I thought he was in the box.
He seemed to be. We didn't get a very good clarification from the officials, Bill. It has to be that they felt he fielded the ball with his hands outside of the small penalty area, outside of the box, and of course that's illegal in indoor soccer.
Yes, it is indeed. Long advance. This one goes up into the netting, and of course we should mention here is that it becomes an instant dead ball. You'll see the ball bounce down onto the floor, but if it hits the net, it is a rebound type net, and it's out of play even if the ball lands back on the floor. We should point that out. So we have a 1-1 tie here in second period action, and we're about 3 minutes old. Straight ahead advance as Willie Roy tried to feed it ahead. Hung Lee. Roy picked his pocket, put it in the box area, and forces Stan Anderson to make what technically will be listed as a save on that ball.
Anderson, excuse me, Bill, I was going to say Anderson on his distribution. You notice now he's starting to throw a little bit longer. So I think Rick Kilps is encouraging him to do that, look for the man downfield a little bit to open things up a bit.
Mike Garofalo got taken off of his feet, didn't he, by Mike Baldwin. Play on, they say. And now Cornell responds with a takedown, and a foul is called there, and Northern has 3 quick ones. And there are none, I don't think, against Wisconsin Parkside to this point. Maybe 1. I'm not sure. We were busy trying to chase down the score on the official word on a goal here, and I think we may have missed a foul. But anyway, ball volleyed into midfield and a little bit underled, so Garofalo had to come back for it. Helge Abramson puts it to the near side. Here's Preben Hulla off of the boards. Going into the corner, volleyed right in front. Roy trying to feed it through. A little toe shot in front. And, a little bit of nifty work there to keep the ball from going in as Stan Anderson had to turn around and find that ball in a hurry.
Nice
He did.
recovery, Bill. He almost had that going off of his back into the goal. Here we see Spiegel picking one up, and that's a nice distribution. The Huskies are on the move.
2-on-1, ball fed to Roy, had an open net but couldn't get the ball. Now cuts to the left, fires a shot, good kick, save and a beauty by Anderson. And the zone is cleared. Corno is there, dumps it right back in. Preben Hulla got to it late. Now there was just an obvious takedown effort. I don't know what that was. Bill Kennedy there. Kennedy blocks a shot, it goes back to Corno. He fires a drive off of the boards from the red line, and it bounces over to the near side for Mike Lee. Put up into the air, in the box area. Here's a shot, and Anderson was up to that shot by Barry Garofalo, I believe, who took it, yes.
That was no problem for Anderson. The shot prior, though, when he made the kick save to the near side was a real beauty. Actually,
yeah.
I think Willie Roy had him going to the far side, which is where a goalkeeper would expect that shot to go, and he just kind of poked it to the near side, trying to sneak it by him, but showing a little bit of athletic ability, Anderson stuck his left leg out, and as you said, made a nice save.
Very nifty save. Jim Corno coming out of his own end, drops it back to Abramson. Corno along the far side, new man coming on the floor. Brian O'Malley tries to take the ball, goes ahead. Here comes Tim O'Keefe now toward the top of the box area. Bounce to the near side for Mike Lee. For Parkside, Matthews tried to pick his pocket, tried to intercept the pass. Nice run through by Lee. He's bumped off of the ball. That's a foul. The foul called against Mike Farnham, and I'll tell you, that was just outside the box.
Well, he's placing it right outside the box. The Huskies set up a quick wall, and there's a chance that just whistles by Spiegel's right.
Off of the boards on the far side, top of the arc. Outstep clearance there, tried by Preben Hulla. Goes over to the far wing corner, and we had contact over there. Jens Hansen and Helge Abramson. Battle. A couple of Norwegians or Swedes right there. Tell you what.
That's one of the great things about soccer, Bill.
Yeah.
It's you got a lot of international flavor, even in Palatine, Illinois.
Yeah, you're right about that. Jens Hansen. That sounds like a movie star type name, wouldn't you? Jens Hansen and Marilyn Monroe or something like that. Here's a misguided missile as that one goes out of play, taken by Bill Kennedy. Timeout on the floor. Timeout, 5:26 remaining here in the first half, and our score is tied at 1. Here in the second quarter of play, and coming up at halftime, we're going to be meeting the two head coaches in this game. Rick Kilps, who you played against, Pete. You remember him from your playing days, the coach of Wisconsin Parkside. There's a good-looking Rick. You'll be meeting him. He's in his 4th year, and he is a UW Parkside grad who caused you a lot of personal pain in the goal through the years, Pete.
I was joking with him prior to the match. I said, I think I still have a few bruises with your name on them, Rick. Of course, he denied it, but...
And Northern Illinois coach Willie Roy, just finishing up his first year, and of course the former coach of the Chicago Sting, the great coach of the Chicago Sting, did a terrific job and was responsible for the first Chicago championship in 18 years in 1981.
Long drought between the 63 Bears.
Oh, I'll say.
And Sting.
Well, those were fun times, and anybody who was here remembers it very, very well. So 5:26 remaining. It'll be a goal kick. Goes over. Pisani gets the return feed. Spiegel with a quick outlet. I guess you could call that a Spiegel outlet. Off of the board. It's a drive right in front. Save off the line. Unbelievable. Save off the line. Mike Ferreira gets it, and ouch, that one stung as he went into those boards. It'll be a free kick.
That had to hurt Ferreira because he was right in front of us, Bill, and was just put right into the boards as you would see in hockey. So I'm sure that took the wind out of him there.
Over on the far wing side, here's Brian O'Malley looking to center, cuts toward the left, could fire a shot from that angle. Here's a whistler. It goes out of play, taken there by Brian Maher, who wears 19 in white, and when he's in the green uniform, he wears number 16. So, he is a sophomore. He's from Wheaton, Illinois, played at Central High School. Here comes Brian O'Malley, forced to a bad angle. Farnham with a beautiful effort to pick the pocket there. Down goes Mike Baldwin. Play on, they say. Ball fed to far side. Farnham's open. The goal's open, and he missed the put away.
Great effort by Farnaville. Way at the defensive end, you see him slide tackle on AstroTurf, win the ball, make a run, receive the ball, give it back right in front of the goal, and unfortunately for the Huskies, it went high. But that's what Willie likes to see, end-to-end effort by his players.
It was touched right through the box, and here's a little chip shot. They're getting those shots way up in the air. That time it was Jim Corno who let her rip, and he got underneath that one.
I think Willie would like to see Jim running onto that ball instead of being in a stationary position. Be back a little bit further, run on so you can stay over the ball, keep it low, and drive it into the net. Jim, unfortunately, he had the ball, and he was already in the open spot and wasn't able to really drive it.
Kind of got the old sand wedge out there and lofted it. So here's Ferreira. Last time he tasted those boards pretty good. Coming around, tries to center off of the boards, and Spiegel is there to handle it. And another outlet. Ball fed ahead. Roy. Oh, and get out the Excedrin tablets for Garofalo as he got hauled into those boards pretty good, and there will be a penalty on that one.
That's very serious, Bill. That is, you don't want to see a player's head hit the boards. Here, Willie Roy Jr. receives the ball, hits a nice pass along the boards, and I think Barry's head either hit the wall or hit the floor, both services being very hard, and you hate to see something like that happen. Hopefully he's okay.
2-minute penalty to Brian Maher. He was the guy who came in there with the late tackle. And Garofalo, of course, you're playing along those boards. You don't have a whole lot of room, especially there where they're low. You know, you can kind of anticipate the higher ones, I think, a little bit, Pete. You can kind of, you know, you can put your feet up a little bit to brace you. You've got a lot of area there to work with. With these lower boards in the middle, it's really kind of tight. And he came down, it looked like he hit his head right on the top part of it.
Well, it's tough for the players. As you say, of course, they're watching the ball. They've got an opposing player closing them down. This is where upper body strength comes into play also, because they're using their arms to keep themselves off of the boards.
Yeah.
And the stronger you are, the easier you can do that. Plus, you have to shield the ball from your opponent, so it is not an easy deal by any means to maintain control, be aware of where the play is, and also protect yourself. And that's one of the hazards of indoor play.
Yeah, you're looking at Stan Anderson, the goalkeeper, and some of the fans here as they're attending to Barry Garofalo. He is a senior from Libertyville, Illinois. The fans all concerned and hoping that he'll be up on his feet soon. Barry played at Libertyville High School. There's a look at Barry. He was a walk-on, you remember, as a sophomore. He did not make the team, had to walk on, and it looks like he's going to walk off, but he is going to walk off all right. Hey, let's take a moment to remind you that the Chicago White Sox are back in action on Sports Vision, and of course we'll bring you the games. Our first White Sox telecast will be 7:30, and the White Sox will be taking on the California Angels live from Comiskey Park, April 6th. All right, good deal. And so we'll pass that along to everybody.
That's 4 days from now, Bill.
Yeah, you're right. So we're looking forward to that very much. Thanks for reminding me. There's a drive. No wonder I knew my taxes were running a little bit late.
Great save by Anderson. Again, we talked about his athletic ability, and you saw him get up and make a nice acrobatic save there.
Yeah, so Anderson certainly stood in there very well. They say he really showed a lot of improvement. He's been playing in those Prairie State games the last 3 years, seeing a lot of action. Has Stan. Here's a drive. Anderson was there to kick save on that one and knock it against the board. Mike Riley's clearance went out of play. Northern will try to put the pressure on again.
He seems very much in the flow, Bill. And you know as well as I do, indoor, you get a hot goalkeeper that can really carry you very far.
Yes, and you get one who can't get his distribution passes down. That can carry you very far in the wrong direction. Well, that one went over the sideboards.
I think that's an indicator of how pumped up he is.
Yeah.
I think he obviously that ball got away from him, but he's made some good tough saves, and now he is in the flow.
Yeah, Abramson, he'll bring it in as Willie Roy on his left punches it over toward the corner. Roy trying to make a run on the ball, came loose right in front. Corno, goal! Jim Corno on a beautiful feed from Willie Roy, and credit Roy with just staying with that ball.
Well, I think Willie Roy Jr. was surprised to see the ball at his feet. Here you see on the replay, the ball comes around on the corner, and as the opposing player comes in, here we go. You'll see. All right, all of a sudden, look, he's looking for the ball. There it is. It squirts loose, comes through, and no goalkeeper's going to stop that. Jim Corno took it nicely and just slotted it away.
And as we return live, a shot on goal taken by Wisconsin Parkside. Kiley puts it off right in front of Riley does. And it is taken, ball fed out, Vincent Matthews, and down he goes in a foul.
Good save by Spiegel, and we're seeing some better distribution from Tim Spiegel. He caught Matthews on the run perfectly in stride, and Matthews was taken down.
I think that was a shorthanded goal, by the way. Not exactly certain if the penalty had expired or not because they're using a continuously running clock. I think that was a shorthanded goal. I'm not sure. And Hung Yi fed the ball over. Foul called. It'll be a free kick, and the fouls are piling up. 40 seconds remaining here in the half.
Actually, Bill, we're looking at a man advantage goal if indeed the penalty had not expired, because the penalty was against Parkside, and that's, I think, one reason why Jim Corno was unmarked in the box.
Yes, that's right. I had that exactly reversed. Forgive me. A man advantage goal indeed. A mag. Ball fed across. Pisani, couldn't flat it out. He had Vincent Matthews wide open there, deep in the underbelly. And a foul is called. Fouls are really piling up here. Man advantage goal on that last one. 10 seconds left. Clock continues to run. By the time they get this sorted out, they won't even get a shot off.
Well, we've got a little Hollywood going there, Bill.
2,
Greg Peters has
1,
got his arms out.
0. That's it. Yeah, the more time he takes, the less scoreboard time there is, and that's what they wanted. So Northern Illinois will take a 1-goal lead into the locker room at half. Willie Roy comes out to talk with his team. Our score at the half, 2-1 in favor of the Huskies of Northern Illinois in their battle, the Wisconsin Parkside Rangers. Coming up, we'll be visiting with the head coaches, Rick Kilps, and Pete will be talking with Rick, and I'll be visiting with Willie Roy. They'll be coming up at halftime. Our score right now, 2-1 Northern. It is halftime. That's what time it is. We're back to visit with Coach Willie Roy here, the coach of the Northern Illinois Huskies. Certainly a familiar face to Sports Vision viewers. Willie, happy to have you as a guest here at halftime, and I know you've been very busy. Give us an idea of what's been going on putting this tournament together, all of the logistics of it and everything else.
I'll tell you what, we had a lot of help from Peter Richardson, who owns this facility, and a lot of the schools, we have some quality schools, obviously, and there are 4 excellent schools left in the tournament, and certainly we're going to see some quality soccer coming up. We have a tough game coming up against Wisconsin Parkside, and hopefully that we're going to be ready for them. We met them yesterday, and it was a tough match between the 2 schools. Luckily, we won that game, but they're going to be tough today.
Yeah, Willie, you have coached outdoor and indoor at the professional level. It's interesting to watch the adjustments of these young men. Are there some standard themes that you see, the way the players are trying to adjust to the indoor from the outdoor game?
Well, I think the biggest problem that collegiate coaches have is obviously we really don't practice with the kids a lot during the off-season. On a professional level, you have a lot of time to prepare them. You practice in the preseason, play exhibition games. But on the collegiate level, I think we have 1 practice session with our team, and then you obviously try to talk to them in classroom sessions, but it's not like going out on the field and doing the real thing. But I'm proud of our kids. They've done extremely well, and we're lucky to be over here in the semifinals.
What is the off-season regimen like now for the players? This is supposedly the off-season.
Right. What we're going to have is this tournament, and then hopefully we're going to get together with some of the other schools in springtime when the weather warms up soon, I hope, Bill, and play a couple outdoor exhibition games, and then the kids will go home during the summertime and hopefully join some of the local amateur teams, and then when we come back in the fall, that we'll be ready to play the regular fall schedule again.
When is your recruiting time, since you're playing, it seems almost all year round here? When is your recruiting time, and how is that coming along?
Well, I think our recruiting is been going very well, but we will know when the letters of intent are actually signed, and that'll be in the first week of April. We have some good talented kids. Hopefully my twins will decide to come to Northern. I still got to talk to my wife about that a little bit, but I think they have a good chance. And there are a lot of other good kids in the Chicagoland area, and I want to make sure that we get most of the good kids to come to Northern. It's a great school, they can get a great education at the school, and certainly we're going to start a nice soccer program there as well, Bill.
I'm certain of that. Willie, thank you for the time, and good luck out there.
Thank you very much, Bill.
All right, that's Coach Willie Roy, and we'll be coming back here to Palatine in just a few moments. Let's take a look at the scoring here at Soccer City. Vincent Matthews started it out at 7:50 for Northern Illinois with an unassisted goal that gave Northern a 1-0 lead. Then it was a goal by Greg Peters with Brian Maher's assist at 11:37 of the second period, tying the score at 1. Then Jim Corno came back on a great assist by Willie Roy. Corno was able to slot it in there beautifully at 1:40. That made it 2-1. That's where we are right now in this soccer game. 2-1 our score with Northern on top. Bill Hazen back here with Pete Manos. Well, Pete, what do you think a little bit about this, the way this game has been played, and how does Wisconsin Parkside fit into it? We pretty well know what Northern can do.
Right. Parkside, getting good goalkeeping, first of all, I think. And I think, the play is physical. We know that. We've seen some players go down, and as you mentioned, a lot of fouls. So they're certainly answering Northern's physical aspect anyway. I think Rick would like to see them spread the play out a little bit more offensively. It's a slow build-up, and just in the latter part of the half, I think Anderson started getting the ball out a little quicker, and they got a few rushes, and Spiegel is hanging in for Northern as well. So this is anybody's game, of course, with a 2-1 score.
Yeah. It's good to see some of the guys you would expect for Northern Illinois to do the job. Willie Roy, Jim Corner, these are guys, they're good offensive players, and they certainly have acted every bit the part of it.
Right, and I think Farnham's, again, impressing me. Maybe I'm looking for him because I've liked him in the past, but he's doing some good things. Matthews with a great goal early on to get the Huskies going. So they're getting help from a lot of people, and that's what it takes, especially in the tournament when you've got a lot of games in a very short period of time. You cannot rely on one guy to do it all because fatigue comes in. You're going to have everyone contribute.
Yeah, let's take a look at that last goal I mentioned just a moment ago, and this was the goal we were talking about here. Willie Roy.
Right.
Eventually we'll get it.
Willie receives the ball along the boards here, and to his surprise finds it at his feet, and it's just a matter of sliding the ball through, and Jim Corner was in the right place at the right time, and to his credit kept the ball down. And there'll be a lot of players who would normally, Bill, hit that ball over the crossbar, but Jim took it well, hit it low, and it was actually an easy goal for him. The question was, could the ball get through, and Willie Roy Jr. did that for him.
All right, stand by. Second half action is coming up after you watch this. As we get underway here in the third quarter, Wisconsin Parkside, we're just underway. There was one shot on goal. It was well off the mark, ended up in the back of the net, so you haven't missed a thing. Here we go into the third period, and Mike Lee trying to get the ball away from Jim Corno. Ball fed back toward Lee. Corno was in the passing lane. He has Garofalo on his left. Out comes the feed. Garofalo on an angle. A shot fired wide. And O'Malley is there to chase it down. Garofalo nearly had a chance at one, but it's taken away. Maher, who was involved in that earlier scrap, was able to get the ball away.
Bill, you mean the back of the restraining net above the goal. You don't mean the back of the goal net. We don't want people to think they missed a goal there.
That's
in the
correct.
early going.
Yes, that's right. That's correct. The rebound nets, forgive me. We do have more than one set, don't we?
You had me worried. I thought I missed a goal there.
Yeah, well, nothing. We have the same score, 2-1. Thank you, Pete. You come in handy for all that stuff, don't you? That's what a Northern Illinois college degree will do for you. You figure these things out.
I'm trying, Bill.
Well, I'm a Butler man. That explains it, I guess. Into the wall. The ball's loose. A kick save there. And a takedown. Any questions about that? And so a Northern player taken off of his feet, and there will be a 2-minute penalty here. And is it Maher again? May have been.
Nice hustle by Garofalo. Had the ball alongside the boards, came in on the goal. And then as the goalkeeper came out, you noticed that he brought the ball back. So he pulled the ball away from the goalkeeper and was coming off the boards. That's when a defender pulled him down. So this will create a man advantage situation for 2 minutes for the Huskies. Let's see how they set this up. There are a lot of ways you can do that. First of all, we've got a set piece here, and Parkside has set up a wall. You've got a direct kick coming, and then, of course, the man advantage will continue from that if a goal isn't scored directly.
Yeah. 2 minutes, Maher again. Maher is kind of a little headhunter, isn't he? He's been looking for people to get some body on. Ball fed to midfield. The Northern Illinois team will have the advantage for 2 minutes down to 8:42 in clock time. Helge Abramson will come out of his own end. Looks to Corno on the near side. Now they'll set up the power play and see what they can do. Corno brings it in on the wing, cuts toward the right. Good defensive play, forced wide, and the zone is clear. Good defensive play by Mike Lee. Well, he stepped right out there.
It was. Parkside basically is in a 2-2. They're in a box, and what Jim needs to do, unfortunately there, I think he took the ball in and then was pressured too soon. You've got to get the ball moving around amongst your players, get the defenders moving, and then, of course, you have a man advantage, so you should be able to capitalize on that. But the ball's got to move and make those players work.
Up into the air against the board. Corner was trying to get there, blocked out of bounds over the rebound net. Bill Kennedy was there. He hit it last. Or it was hit last by Corno. So Kennedy will have the free kick, and the Rangers will come out of their own end, and there is one across all three lines. Why anybody would do that, I don't understand what the theory is about that.
I can't figure that out either. Of course, for our fans who are new to indoor soccer, the ball's not allowed to travel in the air across the 3 lines, 2 red lines and the white center line, which is exactly what happened there. The ball comes right back in your end.
And so that is an offside. Oh, here's a clearing pass. It just about took one of the fans, gave one of our lady fans a new hairdo there with that one.
That'll keep them moving. Now, notice, Bill, that the Huskies have had a man advantage for close to a minute now, and yet they haven't had a shot on goal. So this isn't what Willie wants to see. He wants to see some good scoring chances coming out of a man advantage situation.
Ruffalo off of the boards. Couldn't close down in time. Here's a drive, and this one kicks up over the rebound net and out of play. Preben Hulla really got a foot into that one.
He hit a nice left-footed shot from out top, had some top spin on it, but was a little bit high.
Well, see, now here you go. Now they've killed off. Here's the problem with a running clock. They've literally killed off the penalty without Northern ever even getting a chance to touch the ball.
One shot for the Huskies in that man advantage situation.
And it went off of the hands of Jens Hansen. Yeah, I fully expect to see his name in a marquee light one of these days. Trying to remind me, who is the star of Magnum PI? Kind of looks like him with a mustache and everything.
Tom Selleck.
That's right, Tom Selleck. And Jens Hansen, I see that has some potential. Into the midfield the ball goes, Northern Illinois. Hulla picks it up. He has Garofalo on his left, feeds it right, dumped into the box. And Stan Anderson is there waiting for it. And you're right, he's starting to get on a roll, isn't he?
Nice give and go between Hulla and Garofalo, but didn't happen.
Mike Lee off of the boards, and the rebound is tipped out to midfield. Baldwin brings it back in, and onto the rebound net it goes, out of play, and it will be a goal kick coming up for Tim Spiegel.
Another line change, Bill, and as the game progresses, you will most likely see Rick Hilps and Willie Roy, the respective coaches, shortening the shift times, which I think is smart, whereas in the first half the players might be on the floor.
And a goal after the ball was stolen. Greg Peters knocks it in. He has 2 quick ones here and has tied the game. Greg Peters.
Well, I think that caught everybody unaware, Bill, including myself. The ball was harmless in the midfield. Next thing you know, it was stolen. Peters turned around. Here it is. You notice he very quickly shoots, and Spiegel didn't handle that real well.
It was Tim O'Keefe appeared to mishandle the ball, so it went directly onto Peters' foot. I don't know the time of the goal. It'll be somewhere approximately around 5.5 minutes. And so that's where they'll go ahead and log it. Here comes Maher trying to get back to it. Knocked off the ball, and that time O'Keefe just kind of jammed his elbow in there and knocked down Kevin Maher.
That's the dangerous thing about indoor soccer, Bill. If you lose possession anywhere on the field, you can have the ball end up in your own goal. And outdoor soccer, if that happens, you usually have 40 or 50 yards to recover, whatever. Indoors, you don't have that luxury. And there was a concentration lapse there, I think, on Spiegel's part as the goalkeeper and also in the midfield when the ball was lost.
Greg Peters was fouled. It'll be a free kick. Willie Roy Jr. foul, rings off the boards right in front, misplayed by the keeper. Attempt to put it away by O'Malley, ends up on the rebound net, and boy, that was badly misplayed by the keeper, Spiegel.
I think Tim Spiegel is a little unnerved now with that goal going in, and he knows he should have handled it well. It actually caromed off his own body into the goal, and here's another chance that in the first quarter he would have handled very nicely. I think he's a little upset. He's got to get his mind right, get back into it.
And we are in the third quarter, tied at 2 apiece. Bill Hayes and Pete Manos. And we're watching the Rangers of Wisconsin Parkside on the move against Northern Illinois and the Huskies. This one bounces out of play. It'll be a free kick, and who does it go to? Northern.
Bill, the point I was trying to make when that goal snuck up on us was that I think you'll see the coaches starting to shorten the shift times for the players, whereas in the first half they'd be on for maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes. As time winds down, those shifts become more like a minute, 45 seconds, and that's how you keep fresher legs in.
And especially with a situation where they've already played a couple of games to get this far in a short period of time. Farnham leaps around the defender, and now he's just knocked off his feet by Greg Peters. And Greg is saying, hey, wait a minute, and there's a flag on this one. He gets a card for that, and he will be headed into the box. So Peters for 2 minutes. And so we'll take a look at this and see what happened here, Pete.
Well, here the ball's played out of Northern's end. Peters seemed very upset with the call, and there's a case that maybe for a foul right there, Bill, but play goes on, and he brings it down the boards. You'll see he's being closed in. Peters coming around, not really, he hits the ball, granted, but also gives Mr. Garofalo a nice push. So I think it was a decent call.
Man advantage situation, top of the box, it's cleared out and out of play as going was Brian Maher. They have Maher and Bill Kennedy, the two defenders nearest the goal right now. It's really kind of a diamond setup. Here's Hulla, great save, Stan Anderson tapped it against the board. Good carry.
Showing some athletic ability, read it well, and he wasn't screened. I think had he been screened, that might have been trouble.
Yeah, Willie Roy. Northern will try again. That matches the number of shots they had on goal with the last power play. It's flicked out of play. And Northern with a quick corner here. Nope, they're going to set it up. Willie Roy wanted to kick it immediately. Pass Corno, just a bad pass, and now put on the net by Abramson. Boy, you'd think they'd get a better pass than that.
Well, you need to have crisp passing in a penalty situation because you have the man advantage, and sometimes there's more pressure on the team with the man advantage, Bill, because they know they're supposed to get some good scoring chances, and sometimes it doesn't happen.
Corno intercepts the inbounds pass off of the boards, right in front. Good opportunity. Corno fires a shot from a bad angle, and Anderson snuffed that one out. But the rebound comes right back to Little Jim. Into midfield he goes, drops the ball. Willie Roy fires a shot, one-handed save by Anderson. That ball would not have gone in. It was off the post.
Good help by Bill Kennedy, though, for his goalkeeper. Anderson made a save, the ball squirted out, and Kennedy was there to clear it away.
Still on the power play, ball goes through. That was also a good defensive play right there by Bill Kennedy as he stuck with Northern's Mike Farnham, who was trying to get to that ball and see if he could knock it in. Here's Willie Roy. Roy brings it in. Over on the far wing side, Hulla at a bad angle. Bounces it off hard. Roy, top of the penalty arc. Drive, hit the goal post. Goal.
It's a goal, Bill.
It is a goal. It hit the post, bounced in, and rebounded out. Willie Roy on a great feed.
All right, here we see the ball. Hulla from the right side comes back across the center. Willie Roy Jr. settles it and drills a nice shot to the goalkeeper's right. Goal for the Huskies.
Hulla gets the assist on that. Preben Hulla on the assist. And the time of the goal, 3 minutes even. Ball over on the near side. Here's Hung Lee. And he was almost hung out to dry right there. The ball taken off of his foot. Northern coming out of its own end. Ball stolen back. Here's Kennedy trying to press the attack. And it is out of play. So it'll be a free kick for Wisconsin Parkside. They now trail at 3-2. Each team has scored a goal in this period. Here's a left-footed drive, hit traffic. A little flick-on attempt there by Jens Hansen. Here comes Northern out, and Stan Anderson had to clear it and did so. Nearly poked a hole in the roof here.
Nice lead by Spiegel. There's a case where you need to have the ball thrown not too far ahead of the player for the other goalkeeper to come out and get in the way, and he led him nicely.
Top of the penalty arc, free kick over to the far side. Quick shot, goal! Pisani! And I can guarantee you that there's going to be an argument on this one. As Stan Anderson was saying, in effect, hey, you didn't give anybody time to get set up, and I'll tell you what, I agree with him.
Well, you can get quick pitch sometimes by the officials, but really it's the job of the goalkeeper and his defenders to be ready for anything. Some officials will put the ball down, won't blow the whistle. We've got some young players here on Parkside's team, and I think a little bit more experience would have told them, react to the ball. Do not wait for a whistle because sometimes you won't get a whistle. And it's a frustrating thing. Anderson very upset, obviously. Rick Kilps now is coming out, as you see, talking with the official, saying, what's going on here? Do we get a whistle or don't we? But it really behooves the players, Bill, in this situation to play the ball. If the ball is kicked, don't worry about it. If it's out of play, well, then they'll just reset it.
Yeah.
But you can't rely on that whistle because oftentimes you won't get it.
Tim O'Keefe got the assist if the goal stands. And I know Rick Kilps feels that he has a case here, and I tell you what, I really kind of share his feeling. His teammates were still really kind of trying to figure out and unstraighten the last call, And really, I guess we're caught kind of arguing about that. And they didn't have anybody set up on that wall. I mean, it was just a simple pass over, bing bong, that's it.
Well, again, an experienced player for Parkside would be standing on the ball.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
in other words, you don't let that kick happen unless your people are ready. So you need a point man. You need a point man to cover the ball and let the official move you away. In the meantime, your goalkeeper and your other players hopefully are getting ready for that. So really, it's whether it's right or wrong. Ultimately, the responsibility lies with the players to prepare themselves.
Well, that's a good point too, Pete. There are things that you can do to make sure that doesn't happen, and standing on the ball that's an excellent example. 4-2, Northern Illinois leads. Here's another steal from the free kick, from the goal kick, and going for a tumble for Northern Illinois was Tim O'Keefe, and now bodies are flying all over the place. Farnham, he's going in, as he took down Jens Hansen. And so Farnham goes into the box, into the sin bin for a couple of minutes.
Well, the physical play continues, Bill. Actually, this time Farnham, who was on the receiving end, I think before I had mentioned it was Barry Garofalo. It was Farnham who was taken down that caused the Husky power play. Now he's on the other end of it, taking down a Parkside player and causing a man advantage situation for Parkside.
54 seconds remaining. Man advantage first of the game. Drive off the boards. Rebound in front. It's cleared out in the midfield, and Riley dumps it right back in. Riley is the middleman on this attack. Vincent Matthews clears the zone. Boy, they nearly had a breakout. Yes, they do have a breakout. O'Keefe down the side. The goal's wide open, and it's cleared away, and just in time. 33 seconds remaining in the period.
Anderson came out of his goal there, Bill, and tried to get in the way, which he did. The ball squirted out to the center of the goal, and one of his defenders, as they should, helped him out, and that's what teamwork's all about in the defensive end.
Northern Illinois free kick. Vincent Matthews gets it back. Northern killing time here. Pisani lofted, and 3 seconds to call with 8 seconds, and now they won't get this underway. It's a problem with a continuous running clock. 2 seconds, 1 second, a drive parried up against the boards, and that is it, as Jens Hansen was able to get a shot off, but that's all. We're at the end of 3, and here at the Soccer Enterprises Complex, we have a 4-2 Northern Illinois lead over Wisconsin Parkside. Bill Hazen back with Pete Manos. We have a 4-2 score in the ball game. And speaking of soccer, I guess we should remind everybody that the next Sting soccer game on Sports Vision will be Saturday, when the Sting travel to Dallas to take on the Sidekicks. Live action begins at 7:30 right here on Sports Vision with Chet Kopic and Mark Simonton, and we're looking forward to their action. I've been looking forward to seeing their work all season long, and it'll be right here on Sports Vision, Chicago's winners on cable. I've been learning a lot from those telecasts. I've been enjoying them. And we have a 4-2 ball game. Bill Hazen back with Pete Manos. How about you, Pete? You having a good time today?
It's a little cold in here, Bill, but I tell you, we've seen some great action on the field. It certainly is warming things up. Physical play, some great goals. We see some of the fans enjoying themselves. Notice though, everybody has their coat on.
Yes, indeed.
But it's been a very well-played game, and still at 4-2, as you know, indoor soccer, anything can happen, and goals come thick and fast. Now we'll see who's got what left for the last 12 minutes.
Parkside has one thing left. They have a man advantage for approximately 40 seconds here. Remember, it is a continuous clock, so if the ball's just kicked out of there's a look at Rick Kilps and his bench there for the Parkside Rangers. Riley feeds it across. They need to get it in the attacking end. They're able to get it on the foot of Jens Hansen. Goes back to Riley, puts it off of the boards in front. Hansen, it's out of his reach. And a little bit of a charging there by Mike Baldwin as he and Matthews got tangled up, and they gave the foul to Vincent Matthews. Teams first. Quick free kick. Here's a drive by Riley off of the boards. Headed up into the air. The penalty is almost over. Along the boards on the near side. Ball fed out. And down goes the player Riley. Now down goes Vincent Matthews. Northern Illinois gets the ball back. Are the teams at even strength yet? Not quite yet. Ball fed over the far side. A slotting pass into the box area, and a flying header there tried by Greg Peters as he tried for the hat trick on the feed from Brian O'Malley.
Nice try. The ball was a little bit high. He wasn't able to direct it down into the goal, but it was a nice give and go by the Rangers.
And off she goes into the wild blue yonder as Brian Maher gets under one from the red line. And I do think now that the penalty is over, the teams are back at even strength. Yes, they are. It's 5 against 5. So Wisconsin Parkside unable to convert on the opportunity. Northern is 1 for 2 in their opportunities on the man advantage situation. So Northern Illinois killed one off. Goes over to the near side. Maher brings it in, top of the penalty arc. Directed header does not clear the zone. Over in the corner it goes. O'Malley trying to chase it down, but Jim Corno beats him to the ball. Tries to feed it out, blocked. The pass out was blocked by Greg Peters, kept inside the zone, and Northern just can't get it out of their own end. Here's a pass off of the boards, right in front of drive. Hit traffic as O'Malley let one go. Didn't have the luck of the Irish with him that time. And going back into his own end is Bill Kennedy.
Rangers putting some pressure on here, Bill. The Huskies haven't seen a shot yet in this last quarter. And, of course, Rick Hilps wants to get that next goal. When you're talking 5-2, that's a long way to go, even in indoor soccer. But if he can get within 1, then still it's anyone's game.
And off of the boards it goes. Mike Lee trying to keep it alive. The angle cut off there by Spiegel. Off the boards in front, chance for a sure put away. And that time Jens Hansen just flat out missed it. Counterattack, a breakaway. Garofalo dribbling in, fires a shot, save. Was he out of the box? I thought Anderson was out of the box. Here's the drive, save over against the boards. I thought Anderson was a good foot out of the box.
Well, he was, Bill, but the key was there that he did not use his hands. The ball hit off his body, so he becomes another player as soon as he crosses the line where the box is. He used his legs and didn't touch the ball with his hands, so that was a great play.
Well, there you go. I thought it hit his hand, but even if it does, if it's inadvertent, it wouldn't matter anyway, so your point's well taken no matter how you figure
right.
it.
And, of course, that's up to the discretion of the official. If he feels it hit his hand, then we have a little bit of a gray area there, but at this point, it's a good effort by Anderson.
And so Wisconsin Parkside, with a stoppage in play, will get a free kick, and Mike Freya, I think the Huskies were called for a foul there. Here's a drive from a bad angle, parried down nicely as Bill Kennedy let one go, and Spiegel was up to that one.
Excuse me, Bill, Mike Ferreira was on the doorstep waiting for a rebound.
Yeah, Roy right there tried to turn it in with those long legs of his taken off of his foot. Kennedy, Roy picked the ball back up, fed it across. Corno trying to get to it, could not get there. Keeps it alive off of the boards. And nearly taken away. It's good to see Garofalo back in there after the early injury he had. Mike Lee fed up into the air. Vincent Matthews takes it out for Northern Illinois to midfield. Garofalo is on the right. And down goes Mike Farnham.
That was a good play by Spiegel coming out, Bill. It was a 3-on-1 for the Rangers, and he cut the ball off, came way out of his goal, and I think he saved a potential problem for the Huskies.
Here's Mike Lee coming up the near side. Floor-wide pass. Did not cross all 3 lines. Trying to get to it is Ferreira, and the ball's taken away from him. Northern Illinois 3-2 counterattack. Ball fed to the near side. Vincent Matthews had to wait for it a little bit. Gets it, feeds it floor-wide across. Farnham cutting to the left, fake the shot to the right. Trying to dance around, they close down on him. 2 players able to close on him. Lee feeds it out. And Pisani goes back in his own end to get it and puts it inside the box. There Northern had a chance, Pete, and just held it too long.
They did. Actually, the Rangers, though, have had the run of the play here, Bill, other than the time when Anderson had to come out of his goal and use his body to block a shot. It's been pretty much all Parkside, but they don't have anything to show for it.
7 minutes remaining. 7 minutes remaining. Parkside. O'Malley taken down. Little kind of a physical contact there. The ball set up on the far side, brought in. Farnham chased it down. He's closed down by Ferreira. Ball came loose, went into the box area, and a quick pass out as Wisconsin Parkside trying to counterattack. They wanted a handball. Here's the drive, Ferreira from above the top of the penalty arc. He could have carried the ball probably another 5 feet. Didn't do so. Here's a shot. Just missed the goal by Mike Lee. The rebound goes sailing across the goal mouth, and nobody could put it away.
Pretty heads-up play by the Huskies. I don't know if it was Pisani, number 6, or if it was Tony Adolph's number 16, but as the ball was going by him, he actually stuck his hand out. The referee missed it, thought that he just trapped it with his legs, so that's why Parkside was very upset.
Oh, and look at this. Now there you talk about stopping it. I'd say somebody learned his lesson right there, and
Exactly.
that was Maher.
Exactly. His team was not ready, and he stuck his foot in the way.
Oh, and they weren't ready for that either. A long blast by Adolphs. from outside the red line. Now counterattack.
Good shot by Adolphs. That wasn't too far off the mark.
No, the goalkeeper's out. Spiegel, he can't get back inside the box. We had a big collision in there, and a fight has broken out on the field. And now they're trying to keep everybody separated. Who wants who?
Well, welcome to the NHL, Bill. This is, you don't like to see this kind of thing happen, but when you've got the physical play that we've had, sometimes it's almost inevitable.
Well, I'll tell you, these guys are really hammering away at each other. There will be a card coming from this. I'm not sure who's going into the sin bin.
I don't know how this is going to work out, if you're going to see one from each team or what, but the situation was you had the goalkeeper out, as you mentioned, Bill, and he was fighting his way back into the box so he could pick the ball up.
Sure.
And, of course, he's trying to get in there as quick as he can, push and shove. You see Willie's trying to figure out what's going on. The fans are a little confused. We'll see who goes where, but it was a case where tempers were a little bit over the boiling point.
And we'll see. There will be a penalty against Northern. Let's see who came off. I'm not sure who came off, but Northern will put 4 players on the floor.
Rick Kilp's trying to figure out what's going on, Bill. I would guess we will see a minimum of 1 from each team go off. Usually in a situation like this where you have a crowd of players, it's hard to isolate exactly who's doing what. The officials will try to keep things fair and usually put 1 player from each team.
And of course we don't have the luxury of a public address here where we can pick it up, or a scoreboard that would list it for us, so we're really just kind of playing it by ear. We think Jim Pisani has been put in the box for unsportsmanlike conduct. I don't know. Let me see now. Wisconsin Parkside has 5 players out, so apparently the ruling is that Pisani is the instigator, and so it will be another power play situation, or man advantage, if you will, for Wisconsin Parkside.
Well, evidently the officials felt that since it was in the northern defensive end, that they were more apt to try to keep the Parkside Rangers out of the area than maybe Parkside wasn't trying to get in. And again, because Spiegel was out of the goal trying to get in the box, maybe Pisani was a little bit overzealous in trying to arrange for his keeper to get back in there and grab the ball. That must have been what happened. There was a crowd of players. Very difficult to see exactly what went on.
There's a look at Hung Lee. He was not involved with this. As I was saying a little earlier, he took a pretty good fall. He got hung out to dry earlier in the game, but came back fighting as a young man from Bloomington, Minnesota. And there's a look at Rick Kilps, the head coach at UW Parkside. Very nice young man. He's got a nice program up there too on the Parkside campus, and people watching on Jones Intercable up in Kenosha certainly know all about Parkside. It's only a few miles north of there, and I think it is in Kenosha or Kenosha County. It's certainly right in the area there. Beautiful campus. I first became familiar with it when they had that great basketball team in the 70s that Gary Cole played on, who we got to know by the name of Abdul Jelani in the pros. He was a good player, and that was Gary Cole. He's from Chicago. So they've had some good athletes up there through the years.
I remember seeing him play at Northern when Parkside came to play the Huskies.
Well, now, is there going to be a penalty kick to get things underway?
Well, it certainly looks like it. We've got the official stand. He's got the ball on the penalty spot, and Brian O'Malley looks like he's getting ready to let one go here. So it'll be basically O'Malley against Spiegel in a penalty shot situation. They felt the penalty was severe enough to warrant that, and it did happen inside the penalty box. Excuse me, we got Mike Lee over the ball.
I thought O'Malley was going to step in there too, but Mike Lee has stepped in, and he will take the kick. Let's see what he does. This is a young man from St. Louis, Missouri. If you're from St. Louis, they say you know how to finish.
This should go, the way he's lined up, I'm guessing it's going to go to the goalkeeper's right, probably low to his right, unless we see him open his foot up at the last second.
And he fires a shot, got it in there. Yep, you were right on the nose, Pete. Put it in on the penalty kick. It is converted, and boy, that would have been a tough shot to stop anyway. It was very low. Mike Lee with the goal.
Very difficult to stop a penalty kick, even in outdoor soccer, but in indoor it's that much closer. Granted, the goal is smaller, but the player is very close. You saw in the replay that he took it very nicely, kept the ball low. The only real chance a goalkeeper has there is to anticipate prior to the kick where it's going to go and try to hunch a little bit and react that way, as opposed to trying to react to the actual shot, Bill.
Teams are back at even strength now. And here comes Northern Illinois. Corno turns on those jets. It's like he has a rocket strapped to his back. Boy, does he pick up speed. He has great acceleration. Jim Corno Inside the red line, dumps it to midfield. Helgi Abramson gives ground grudgingly, put it right on the back of his own player, Hulla. Ball taken away. Here comes Jens Hansen, fires a shot. No, the rebound. Oh! Mike Lee had it. A wide open goal right in front. Rebound and went through the crease. And nobody could put it away. Brother, oh brother.
Good try by Lee. It was a difficult shot to take about waist high, took it out of the air and just grazed the far post.
Well, there's no doubt who has the run of the play right now, Pete. You mentioned it about 4 or 5 minutes ago, and in case there's any doubt, we've seen Wisconsin Parkside has really dominated things here the last few minutes. Baldwin puts it in off of the boards, and Spiegel will wait for this one, and we'll see another Spiegel outlet as the ball goes into midfield.
They've pretty much dominated the whole quarter, Bill, and the Huskies, I don't know if they're trying to sit on that 2-goal lead, which is now a 1-goal lead or what, but I'm sure Willie's concerned they need to get something going in the offensive third.
Hung Lee, here's a clearance that hits the top of the boards and bounces out of play. 4:19 remaining. UW Parkside needs one more.
If there's anything we learned from last year's tournament, Bill, I'm sure it was the teams cannot sit on leads in this game.
Yes.
And it's a difficult situation to be in when you're 2 or 3 goals up because players naturally tend to relax, and then goals come from the other team thick and fast.
Baldwin with a drive. The rebound in front for Hansen. Jens Hansen. He has not been able to live up to his billing here today. Hasn't been able to put one away. He's been sitting on the doorstep, but nothing's come his way. Willie Roy with it for Northern Illinois. Pass back behind the halfway line. Comes onto the foot of Preben Hulla. Here comes Preben, gets around one man. Boy, if Northern scores here, that'll about put the lid on it with 3.5 minutes left. Willie Roy. Ball taken away. And the recovery man, Abramson, was there. The safety man, and he put it out of play.
Well, Abramson was playing a position of sweeper, actually. That's the term of the position, and it literally means to sweep up whatever falls back there because he's the last man between the ball and the goalkeeper.
And he did precisely that. 3:12 remaining and counting. The Rangers very much need a goal. Ball tries to dribble his way in. He's closed down, forced into midfield to get 2 men on him. Boy, you have to get rid of that ball when they slap that double team on you. Here's the ball into the box area, and it is taken by the keeper Anderson, who feeds it out.
I think Rick Kilps wants to see a good build-up. There's still time for the Parkside, even though the clock is running. There's no sense just dumping the ball into Northern's defensive end. They need a good build-up and a good scoring opportunity, and that's what will get them an equalizer and take them into OT.
Matthews gets it back. The keeper goes out. Did he use his hands out of the box? This time he did, no question. And that is really kind of a tough situation there because that nullifies any possible advantage if they decided to pull the goalkeeper. Now they're down one. They have to pull the goalkeeper just to remain even.
Well, it's excuse me, Bill. It's a tough thing for a goalkeeper because he's got to come out and react to the ball, and yet you're not allowed to use your hands. So when the ball's not on the ground, you can't use your feet. I mean, his only option here would have been to stick his head in there, which is not. With Matthews right there is not probably too advisable, so he did the only thing he felt he could do, and that's a break for the Huskies.
So it is indeed. Northern has a man advantage at 2:31. This is their third man advantage opportunity, their third mag of the game. And so 2:31. You see some of the fans who are here to follow their favorite teams here today. Keep those gloves on. Yeah. Winter is upon us here. Actually, of course, spring is almost upon us here, isn't it now? As
Doesn't feel like April, I'll tell you.
No,
Bill.
there's probably a good reason for that. 2:31 remaining here in regulation. 4-3 is our score here from the Northern Illinois Soccer Classic. And we have had a classic game here. Hey, stay tuned and stay on top of all the White Sox action with the premiere of the Sox 88 Jim Fregosi show. New announcer John Rooney will be joining Jim. They highlight all the action of the White Sox beginning tomorrow night at 7 exclusively on Sports Vision. We want to welcome John to the Sports Vision family. 2:31 remaining. It'll be a free kick coming up for Northern Illinois. And it will come from the far side, just outside the box area. Ball played to Matthews, shot, oh, and he had an outstep shot, couldn't put it away. Goes over to the near wing side. Adolphs, it is cleared. Northern with the power play, and boy, I'll tell you right now, Wisconsin Parkside has a tough situation.
Well, they do have an uphill struggle. They're down a goal and they're down a man, and Northern can afford to just push the ball around, although, again, they're only up 1 goal. So a mistake here in the back, and, you know, a Parkside player like Mike Lee here, number 20, breaks through, and you've got a tie game. So they have to be careful also.
Ball fed ahead to Vincent Matthews. Northern Illinois is just killing time here. They're moving the ball, but they're killing time in the process. Ball fed ahead. Here comes Northern, and they're just happy to content to sit. If nobody stands on them, why not? Just hold on to the ball. They have the lead.
Well, I think Parkside should think about maybe pushing another player out beside Mike Lee. Mike Lee is running ragged out there.
Yes.
One man chasing. Here we go. Now they're coming out.
And the ball goes over to Adolphs. Put into the boards. The second man was Mike Baldwin, who came out trying to close down to the ball. I tell you, Northern is giving a classic clinic here. Adolphs coming in the near side, and up she goes into the wild blue yonder, out of play.
Well, they ate up a lot of time. They used the man advantage, didn't get a very good shot out of it, and now we've got Parkside with a timeout.
Timeout for the Parkside Rangers. We'll pause with 1:17 remaining, and our score in the ball game is the Huskies of Northern Illinois 4 and the Rangers 3. Bill Hazen back with what you have to have on a nice chilly April day. Little hug-a-bear there, right there, whatever that thing is.
Also, you see Tony Zettel, the faculty advisor to the Husky soccer team, in the stands taking some notes.
Yes, indeed. Coming up the near side. Northern Illinois on the attack, trying to get to the ball is Kevin Drew. It's one of the few times we've seen him out there today. 58 seconds left. Parkside on the attack, goes off of the boards. Ball came loose for a moment, a kick save. As a clearance attempted, Mike Riley trying to keep it in play, and we had a, what's this all about now? As a Wisconsin Parkside player went hard into the boards, Jens Hansen, and a free kick for Northern Illinois. The penalty's over, 32 seconds left. Oh, they pulled the keeper out, that's what they've done. And the keeper better hurry. He's in the open floor here. The ball out of play. It'll be a free kick coming up for Northern. Willie Roy to take it. 15 seconds left. If Parkside doesn't get it in a hurry, that'll be it. Goes over the sideline. 10 seconds. They put the ball back in play. 7 seconds. Say, fellas, there isn't much time left in this game. 3, 2, 1. That's it. And the game is over. They gave it out of bounds as it was last touch. Northern Illinois got the ball for a free kick, so they were not the least bit anxious to put it in play. And so Northern Illinois advances to the finals, and now that leaves one question for us to be decided in our next game coming up, and that's how the Phoenix of University of Wisconsin Green Bay will do against the National College Lakers, who are a Chicago team, and Louis Matus and his team will have a real challenge ahead of them. We'll be coming back for more action here from the beautiful Soccer Enterprises Complex. Our final score in the first game, 4-3, Northern Illinois.